Hi, I'm Louis, and today I'm studying, or tonight, it's 11:30, I'm studying for the GitHub Actions exam. I've been studying for the past 3 months for this exam, and I have around 10 years of experience in GitHub and 2 years in Actions. So hopefully I'm more than prepared. Let me share my screen. So yeah, this is the exam I want to take, the GitHub Actions one. I have it scheduled tomorrow for lunchtime, so I'm going to take it on my lunch break during work. In terms of what I've been using to prepare for this exam, the first thing was this YouTube video is really good. It's like 3 hours, 10 minutes, but it's missing some of the content. So I'd recommend if you go into the description, if I zoom in a bit into the description, there's an Exam Pro link. Click on that, sign up. It's free, I believe. Then you get more comprehensive. It's the same guy, same video, but some of them, the missing content is here pretty much. And he has lectures and cheat sheets, and he has 4 practice exams. And as we can see, the exams are looking good. I've got 71, 88, 92, 92. So it's looking good overall there. And then here, I also went onto Udemy. I'm very grateful because at work, I get Udemy. So on the first exam, I got 71. On the second exam, I got 70. On this one, I got 71. And on this one, I got 71. But we see 70% is a required mark to pass. So even though my exam is tomorrow, I'm not entirely sure if I'm ready for the exam. So I guess we'll just have to see. So yeah, let's get straight in. Yeah, so the final resource I'm going to use, which is tonight, so less than 12 hours until the exam starts, is GH Certified, which is, if you read it here, I'll zoom in a bit more so you can see GH Certified. And this one is a collaborative project dedicated to assisting individuals in their preparation for GitHub certification exams, which is what I'm doing, I think. So yeah, let's do this. So you can do practice tests, GitHub Actions. So for this video, because it's quite late and I've got my exam tomorrow, maybe I'll do Okay, sorry, I'm back. I was having to think about what I should do. I've decided I'm going to do 2 sets of 30 and see how it goes. On those 30, I hope I get more than 70%. There's not much I can do. I guess I can do a third one. And yeah, I'll go through the answers if I'm wrong. Yeah, let's see how it goes. So the first question. When using GitHub Actions to access resources in one of the cloud providers, such as the safest recommended way to authenticate is storing access keys in secrets. Probably. I mean, OIDC and Vault, like HashiCorp Vault probably is better. I'm going to go with secrets because that's what GitHub offers and you may not have access to Vault. Let's do that. Okay, in a workflow of multiple job, if job A fails, then the jobs that are dependent on job A are skipped. Yeah, skipped. I'm going to say skipped. How many jobs will be executed in the following workflow? 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe, well, it's like they're going to do iterations. So it's going to be 4, I believe. It's going to be crazy if I get like 40%. I'll have to do a third one. How can you ensure a job runs only on a specific branch? Using the branch filter. Yes. How can you determine if an action is a container action? By looking at, it's going to have Docker. Wow, it's really bad. How little I know. I should have done more preparation. This is looking bad. I promise I usually study more than this. Usually. You can only upload a single file at a time when using... I don't know. I can look through the answers. I'll look through the answers afterwards. I'll go through them, but for now, You could probably do a directory, I imagine. So probably false. Which statement is correct regarding passing permissions to reusable workflows? Which statement is correct regarding passing permissions to reusable workflows? I mean, I guess downgraded. Like the permissions can be downgraded. Definitely not elevated, since that would kind of defeat the purpose of the permissions. So no, definitely not elevated. It can't be both downgraded and elevated. It's either C or D, and I'm probably going to go with downgraded, since from a security perspective that sounds most reasonable. Maybe. Okay. Which variable would you set to true in order to enable step debug logging? Whoa. It would seem like it's this one, right? Okay, what is the correct syntax for specifying a cleanup script in a container action? Wow. Okay, and there's 5 here? Not 4? Make it extra difficult, so runs using... I'm gonna assume it's this one. Either this one or this one. I'm not too familiar with Docker, although I have used Docker before. It's bad. I think the worst bit about this is that if you go here, and you go here, onto my profile, spooky. Oh, but I don't play that. I put a Docker icon, so... Am I an imposter? Probably. It's okay. There's a syndrome for that, isn't there? So it's fine. Where should you store sensitive data or secrets? Are we using workflow secrets, of course. What are the different permission levels you can assign to GitHub token in the permissions block? What would delete do? Delete would be the same as... I'm gonna assume none. I know you can do read and write, because I saw that earlier today when I was working. But none. None sounds plausible. We'll go with this one. I'll make a note of all the answers as well, because tomorrow I'm going to need that. So how can you override an organizational level GitHub secret? So you have a repository secret with the name API key. Probably with these two, yeah, because the scale is you have enterprise, organization, repository, and then environment. So the lower you go, it'll overwrite the higher one. So it should be these two. This is the first answer. I'm on question 12, which is like mildly difficult, and I think I know the answer to it, but it'd be a shame if I'm wrong. So we shall see, we shall see. Okay, next one. On which commit and branch to schedule workflows? Default branch. Some repositories may not have a main branch, so it has to be, yeah, this one. I'm gonna zoom in. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, after the video, we'll leave a star on the repository because that is giving back to the community. Okay, question 14. In the following example, workflow A passes all of its secrets to workflow B by using the inherit keyword. Then workflow B calls workflow A passes to workflow B by using the inherit keyword. Then workflow B calls workflow C. Yeah, this is true. Only repository and environmental secrets to workflow A will be available to workflow B. but not organizational scope secrets cannot be inherited. I think this one, yeah, all secrets available to workflow A will also be available to workflow B, but not to workflow C. Yeah. What other... All secrets from Octo.org organization. But how do we know? No. We don't know which repository that workflow A is in, do we? So this, we cannot say this one. So it has to be this one, I think. So yeah. What is a self-hosted runner? I don't know. Self-hosted runner is a system that you deploy and manage to execute jobs from GitHub Actions. You do deploy and manage it. Oh, the bottom three are silly. So it's definitely this one. It's a self-hosted runner. A self-hosted runner is a system that you deploy and manage to execute jobs from GitHub Actions. Yep, nice. We said 30 questions, right? So we shall find out soon if I'm good. Your open source publicly available repository contains a workflow with a pull request event trigger. How can you require approvals for workflow runs? I didn't think of the forks. Require approvals. I didn't think a fork would trigger your repository. Yeah, I think this seems most plausible. If someone forked my repository and then pushed, I would not expect that to trigger my workflow. I'd hope not. And if so, I'd want to be able to specify it. So yeah. What is true about the following workflow configuration if triggered against the octodev? So on push, it would just be mock test skipped. No, I don't know what's going on here. This is not important. It's more important about the if. I mean, it could error, but I assume the if condition will go first. So that's not the name of the repository. It's not going to execute 3 steps since there's only one. This is not a condition. That's like a parameter you pass. And it could error, but I don't think it will. So I think I'm going to go for this one. We mark as skipped since the repository is my dev repo, not my prod repo. How can organizations using GitHub Enterprise Server enable automatic syncing of third-party GitHub Actions hosted? I think they just can. I'd make the assumption that they do, because you can just third-party GitHub Actions. Yeah, I think you can access them, and then maybe the administrator can remove access. I'm not sure. Okay, which of the following statements are true about adding a self-hosted runner in GitHub Actions? No. Whoa, I don't know the answer to any of this. I guess you can add it to a workflow. You can add it to an organization. Runs on. This is playing with words. I was not, this one I'm not too sure. It's crazy because I'm not very sure about any of them, right? So this is not boosting people's confidence if they want to learn from me. When can you delete workflow runs? 2 weeks. Because it may be running for 2 weeks. It's this one for sure, when the workflow run has been completed, and then it's one of these two. And I can't remember the exact length. We shall see. Which of these is a proper way of setting an output parameter pet with a value? Okay, so this is, you usually have to use echo, and it should be echo what? So we're setting the parameter pet with a value of dog. So pet equals dog. And what this does, it puts it to GitHub output. Pet equals dog. This one I'm sure of. I think. Which is the correct way of triggering a job only if configuration variable myvar has a value of my value? If vars.myvar, put it all in the same bracket. If vars.myvar equals my value, this is how I would do it. I don't think that's true. It could be, because I know you can use input.var. I'm not sure about configuration variables. Okay. Okay, it's not possible because configuration variables cannot be used in. Well, it seems like it's teasing us with these two, but I want to go with this one. I know this is the correct. I would write the if statement like this. How can you ensure that a workflow called deploy prod is always running at most one or concurrency? I know this one. It's none of these. How can you use the GitHub API to challenge workflow run logs? Get. Oh, it's got to be a get request. What are you posting? Owner, run ID. I can't see why it'd be a put head or post. Secrets of configuration variables can be scoped too. Single repository. The entire organization. It's these three. Not job. I mean, it could be a specific workflow in a repository. You can have workflow secrets. An environment in a repository. Yeah. A single repository. Yes. And the entire organization or selected repositories in an organization. Yes. What? I don't know. Okay. Configuration variables. We'll have to look at this. We'll have to do further research. To prevent a job from failure when one of the steps fails, you can include like, I know this is real. I don't know. Maybe this one. If always. It's really bad, isn't it? I don't really know any of the answers. I am not well prepared, guys. What is the recommended approach for storing secrets larger than 48 kilobytes? Avoid storing large secrets entirely. 48 kilobytes is a little bit large. Secrets larger than 48 kilobytes, they cannot be stored, I don't think. This seems like maybe the most plausible way. This is possible. You could maybe use GPG key or something. Maybe. I'm not sure. Let us continue. A job called Job 2 is using artifacts created in Job 1. Okay. Therefore, it's important to make sure Job 1 finishes before Job 2 starts looking for the architect. Oh. Depends on. Or use needs. Let's see. The dependency is created implicitly. Potentially. That will not. This won't do it. I'll probably use this one. Needs keyword in Job 2. And then you could use. But you'd have to do needs colon Job 1. I think. Let's see. 2 more questions. When you want to save, when should you use caching? When you want to save files, no. Not for viewing after a workflow run. That could be an artifact or something. When you want to save binaries, no. When you want to reuse files that don't change often, yeah. And you can hit it again. If they change often, there's no point in caching because it's not going to be a cache hit. So, no. You can use permissions to modify the GitHub token permissions on. Whoa. Well, I've seen it at workflow level. Oh, I can't remember now. Okay, I've definitely seen it at workflow level. So it's one of these two, job level or step level. And I was making a one at job level, I believe. So here's the thing. Let me put this here. I want to see myself, self-obsessed. So I want to get 70%. If I don't get 70%, well, ideally I want to get like 90% or I don't know, something more. I think it's not good, is it really? So, okay. Let's go back. So, what did I get? I think this is like 71% or something, right? Which is what I usually get. Let's do the maths. 76%. Yo, let's get this is really good, right? I didn't Google any of the answers. I knew 70%. 76% is a really low pass. 6% overpass, but in university it'd be a first, so I should be proud. Okay, let's look at what we got wrong and maybe let's make some notes as well. Okay, let's put you back here. Let me carefully try and get some notes up. Okay, got this note up. This is terrible. Why am I doing notes like that? Okay, 1 second. Let me open Google Docs over here. That'll be a moment. This is crazy, right? Let me close that. Okay, Google Docs. Opa. Okay, here. New one. Okay, here. We're studying together. Let's have a look. Put this one here. Let's put this back. Okay. So, I'll leave a link to this as well. I'll leave a link to all the resources I use to study. So you can as well if you want to. This is a good website. I want to get like 24 on the next one. Then I can go to sleep. Okay, opa, go back. Oh no, I was saying this website is good. Where did my answers go? They went. Just as I said the website was good. Oh no, this is gone. Come back. Okay. This is not a very good video I'm making. It's a bit rubbish, isn't it, actually? No, this website is very good and it's free, so that's the best part about it, and I'm not complaining about anything that's free. But I want to know where... I don't want to go on my history when I'm recording my screen. That's dodgy. No, I need to... It went because I pressed back. Hold on. I'm coming back again. How do you go on your history? History. No, Siri, be quiet. Thank you. I don't even know here. This one here, like, I mean, I'm glad I got past, but the answers went away, which is very sad. Okay, well, I've been in this website a while now, so I'm gonna try again and not get 76.6666. Let's get a better score. Okay, but it's starting a quiz and it doesn't know. Oh, I need to edit the... Oh, I'm not coding. How do I change the quiz? It's not working. Study resources, practice tests, GitHub Actions. Okay, 124. I did not want to do that. Let's do another 30 and let's see if I can get more than 76%. Oh man. Okay, so it's not going to be get ahead. It's either put or post. And it's not, if you're creating, then it's not a put. I don't think it'd be a post. Yes. Okay. Question 2. What is the recommended practice for treating environment variables in GitHub Actions? Regardless of the operator, you should put them in capital letters. Yeah, but they can be case sensitive. Like someone could be incredibly... I'll do it as case sensitive, I believe. But for the most part, you would put them in uppercase. Question 3. What GitHub hosted runner types are available to use? Yeah, not Android. Okay, which variable would you set to true in order to... I think it's actions runner debug. Which configuration is appropriate for triggering a workflow to run on a webhook events related? Triggering a workflow to run on webhook related events. I think requested. Not completed. I think so. How many jobs will be executed? 4. We had this one before. Which components are required for a workflow? You need a workflow job. You don't need a name. I think if you don't have a name, it will just call it something. And something that will trigger the workflow, yeah. A trigger and a job. I don't think you need a name. What is the default timeout for a GitHub Actions job? I don't know. Maybe 120 minutes? Sounds reasonable. But 360 minutes also sounds reasonable. In fact, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to put this here. And if I'm unsure of the answer, just in case the exam goes, I'm going to put the here. Let me zoom in. Orange. Get rid of this as well. Zoom out a little bit so you can see. Okay. Here, unsure. You should be able to read that. I hope you can. Unsure. Why question? Okay. Unsure questions. This one. Okay. I don't like the fact it's bold either. Okay, hold on. Command B. Command B. Okay. I'm using a Windows keyboard on a Mac as well, so like shortcuts are incredibly finicky. Okay. I think it's 120. We'll find out afterwards if it's not. I'm definitely not pressing back again. Which of the following default environment variables contain the name of the personal app that an actor? So it's the actor, not user, I believe. And it's definitely not workflow repository. So actor. What is the default shell used by GitHub Actions and Windows runners? Bash. I'd hope it's not PowerShell. Although I remember writing PowerShell. That was in Azure. Azure is like GitHub Actions, right? Azure DevOps. Azure pipelines, no? Like Bash on Monday, like this is what I would think it would be. This is what my brain is saying is most rational since Windows uses PowerShell. Sure, I don't even know. CMD. I don't know. I don't use this at work. This would be a good one to get right. Okay. V. If you're finding this video useful, like it. You can if I pass it tomorrow as well, I'll put it in as a YouTube post or something. Not as a video, but like a YouTube post. I'll shout out this website as well, but I'm gonna go with my brain is saying PowerShell, so I'm gonna do PowerShell. Okay. Not all steps run. True. You can have a step that does not run an action. By run an action, does that mean call an action? I don't know, it's not clear, but I'm making the assumption that it's saying you can have a step which doesn't call an action, which is true. You can define the step by just doing a run, a bash script, or calling a Python file or something using the bash script. But all actions will need to have a step, I believe. So, but run as a step, like an action can have jobs. False. Because I think actions also, like I used a reusable workflow, which I understand is not an action. No, I'm going with true because like checkout and stuff, I believe that would appear as one step. So true. If we're looking at it from a GUI perspective, you know, that's my take. How can you cache dependencies to speed up workflow execution? By using the actions cache action, I believe. Actually, let me copy and paste this one. I don't wanna be the guy that gets it wrong. Here, is this statement true? Command 50. Go there. And I want to see if I get it right. So yes, this is action cache, which is the correct way to print a debug message. Honestly, I would just do echo, but these guys are putting it to GitHub debug. Is there like something clearly wrong here with something? Watch echo. What's wrong? What's the difference in this? This has two. I'm not going to Google anything. I don't know the answer to this one. I don't think you have to send it to GitHub debug. I've never seen that. But maybe that is the answer. I'm going to assume that they're quite a ham on this one. I don't think you have to put message. I think because debug is just going to put the debug like sign, I think there. I don't know. I'm going to open this and close my eyes, I can't see. Next one. When will job 3 run? Job 1. There's got to be an error, right? So job 2 needs job 1, nothing in job 1. You can't use always and needs. Might need it to fail, maybe. I believe this one, yeah. So needs, but if always. So these two need to fail, and then once it's failed, I don't know, but I think it's this one. Yes, so it's gonna definitely wait for job 1 and job, oh, it is going to, you could just put job 2 to be fair, because job 2 is dependent on job 1. So job 1 goes, job 2 goes, then it's like we need job 1 and job 2. Okay, it's done. That's like, oh no, it's failed, but there's an if. Always execute. So this one. Which of the following statements are true about adding a self-hosted runner in GitHub Actions? We had this one before and I didn't get to see the answer. And also I didn't know, it's crazy, right? I don't know the answer to the other one. So let's go back. Oh, when will job 3 run? Oh, I didn't copy them. Right. Let's put this one here. Boom, 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 Antiphy. Okay. Yep. Okay, you can add a self-hosted runner to an organization. And you can add it to an enterprise. And you can add it to a repository. I'm not sure. Okay. In GitHub Actions, if you define both branches and path filter, what is the effect in the workflow execution? Yes. This is a great question as well. Because you can have like branches with multiple branches underneath branches, and not all those have to be satisfied, and paths. But would run either branch. This is the same answer, is it not? Would only apply the matching filter. I think it's this one, but this extra line doesn't add any more context. I don't know. Okay, let's go with this one. But I don't know the answer, so we need to copy it. Because we are serious learners. Okay, next. fill in the blank. When using push event trigger filters, you can use regex. So you can do on main, or if you have like a feature dash star, that is regex, I think. So regex. You can upload a single file at a time. We didn't know, we never found out this one because it crashed last time. So it's all about positivity. So even though it broke, I get to be confused twice, which is good maybe, but false. It seems not very useful, single file at a time. Unless you have to zip the file, and that's what makes it useful. So you can do multiple files, but they're zipped into one. Maybe, I don't think so. On which commit and branch do you schedule workflows? I'm going to say it's going to be the latest commit on the refug, but I don't know. So we need to be open to learn. Okay. Workflow was initially run commit A and failed. You fixed the workflow. Oh, workflow with B. But when you rerun that workflow, you can rerun workflows. It will not do that. I think it's going to remove code from commit B. If you rerun it and it has a checkout, unless you've specified the hash of that commit, then it should do with the latest code. Which is the correct value of triggering a job? Only if configuration variable myvar has the value of my value. This one, but I was not sure. And I'm not going to click off. I'm going to be very careful with the keyboard. Okay. Zoom in more. You should be able to read it, but I'll zoom in more. Okay, what is the purpose of timeout minutes? Yes. Yes. No, because we're talking about step, not job. Limits the execution time per individual step. Yes, okay. What does the needs keyword do? Dependencies of a job. Yes. So you can have job B and job A. Job B needs A, so it'll wait. I'm actually so confident it's the only answer I know the answer to. The only question I know the answer to, so yeah. You want to create a reusable workflow CI that runs some quality checks. Linting and tests on code changes. What event trigger should trigger the CI workflow? What event trigger should the CI workflow define? Workflow call. Yes, I'm making reasonable workflows at work. I can be confident about this one. Dave is creating a templated workflow for his organization. Wait, must Dave store the workflow files and associated? What the? .github. Yes, workflow templates in in a repository named .github. That's where the reusable. Yes, templated workflow. I believe so. Yes. In a workflow that has multiple jobs, all running on GitHub hosted runners, is it true that all jobs? No, that's not true. No, I believe all steps within a job will run on the same machine, but not all jobs. No. Because if we go back to that question, GitHub hosted runners, they're pooled. So if there's GitHub type A runner, there may be 1,000 of them, so you would just be on the next available one. What must be added to the actions checkout if my org? What must be added to actions checkout if my org? Okay, you need the key. I face this, you need token. Okay, so what is this? From a different one, yeah. Oh. Does the secret to access tokens will be passed automatically? I believe it's secrets. Why is it not? Whoa. GitHub tokens an environment variable. I believe access tokens are passed automatically. You'd make the assumption, right? You would make the assumption. And none of these seem right. I think it's... I'm not going to pick this one. I'm going to copy this question to be an honest test taker, even in the eyes of my viewers. And I'm just going to type in something. Secret stop git. See, it's a secret. I believe automatic token authentication. This is not cheating because I'm not going to change the question. Secrets.github token, you see that? And it doesn't specify what permissions we're giving these tokens. So who says this private one is valid? But who's to say the access tokens I have now are valid? Does it say that? Okay. My org, my private repo. Okay, my org, my private repo path. That is the path. That's the repository. Using checkout. We're gonna need a token. But I don't think that's a valid one. That's not a valid one. You may create a GitHub secret, my access token, but who's to say this has the right access? It's got to be a secret though. You got to make the assumption that I would pass a secret with the token, but I don't know which. It doesn't specify what kind of token they're passing it, like what permissions it's gonna have. So I'll make the assumption this one. When can you delete workflow runs? Yeah. Oh, I'll go back. Sorry, I was a bit fast. I believe 2 weeks old. It's either 2 weeks or 10 days, or when it's been completed. And it won't be in progress after one of these two. So then it would be completed. So it fulfills one of these two criteria. 14 days sounds very valid. Which one is matrix? I think it's matrix strategy. But I'm not entirely sure. So we'll copy that. And I'll be sure for next time. It's 1:30 in the morning. I don't know how long I've been recording for. But we shall continue. Okay. Very motivational, like having, even if no one watches the video, I felt productive. Maybe I'll get 71% tomorrow, which is all I need to pass. I think this is the correct format. example matrix. Oh no, oh yeah. So your job needs a name, which your job can't be called matrix. So it's not this one. So the question is it strategy matrix or matrix strategy? I believe it's got to be strategy matrix. I think that's what I've seen in previous questions as well. Okay, next one. When should you use caching? Whoa, I've seen this one before. Whoa. Okay, when... I don't even know. See, this is why I just make the here's this is why I just make here's five GitHub actions you need to know, because it'll get 700 views, and it's so catchy. It's a bit cringe though, and in the last one I posted, I looked very tired, so because I did like 4 in a row. But maybe it got views. I don't know. I'm happy if it gets views. It sounds a bit bad, doesn't it? Let's go back to studying. When should you use caching? I know the answer to this one. That are frequently used, right? That don't change often, yeah. So when you want to reuse files that don't change often, that's when caching is useful. And this one, if I close my eyes, let's do this so it's like a big reveal for both of us. Okay. Well, it went down. It's alright, failure is a step closer to success. But the issue is, it's like, didn't give me the answers. Okay, so this is good. I went like a big streak here. Like I knew the answers to all this one. So matrix definition. Yeah, so the matrix comes last. So it's strategy, then matrix. What must be added to actions checkout? I said the secret. But like that was a sketchy question. Which is the correct way of triggering a job only if configuration variable my var? Yeah. That was right as well. I'm surprised because I was unsure. So they're saying it'll run with code from commit B. Rerunning a workflow uses the same commit chart and git ref. That's important to know. Okay, rerunning a workflow. So if you go into the GitHub and Actions and rerun a workflow, it will use the same commit chart and git ref of the original event. Okay. Which question was that? Okay, I'll just do, this is not that useful, so I'll just do answers I must remember. Which is not good for studying. You should have a deep understanding, but this one is more of like it's semantics, you know? So we shall see. Rerunning a workflow uses the same commit char and git ref of the original event that triggers the workflow run. Okay, rerunning a workflow uses the same commit char and git ref of the original event that triggered the workflow run. So it won't use commit B. No. Okay. Fill in the blank. When using push event triggers... Oh, so I can't even do that? Whoa. So I don't get the answers. This is interesting. Maybe I can go into the GitHub and look for the answers. It'll be better maybe. Let's see. Content. Questions. Actions. What the hell? If I search here. Aha, okay. So, which one did I get wrong? I got fill in the blank. Okay. When using push event trigger. Okay, I'm gonna type that in. When using push event trigger. Oh, okay, here. Question number 19. You can use glob. It's glob, guys. It's glob, glob, glob. Okay. When using push event trigger. I was so confident about this one as well. You can use glob patterns to target multiple branches. Okay. This has to be like the worst way of finding answers, I must say. If you define both, okay, this one. Define both branches and path filter. Okay. Define both branches and path filter. Okay, here. What's the answer to this one? I assume X means the answer as well. So it has to satisfy both. Okay. When using both the branches and paths filter. Oh, I realize you guys can't see. Hold on. Opa. Okay. Put this maybe here. That's better, right? Maybe make this one a little bit smaller. Okay. When using both the branches and paths filter, the workflow will both branches and paths are satisfied. See? Okay, still a pass, right? Let me just double check that. 22 out of 30. 73. Yeah. It's all about confidence. Exams about confidence. Okay, what is the default timeout for GitHub Actions job? That's a good question. Okay. 360 minutes. 360 minutes is default timeout for a GitHub Actions job. Okay. How many jobs will be executed in the following workflow? I can't remember the question, so let's have a look. How many jobs will be executed in the following workflow? This could be zoomed in more as well, right? I think. Yeah. Do that. If you're on your phone, you probably just have to go on your laptop. I'm sorry. Okay, let's close this. Okay, so the answer here is 5. Why? What's the question? How many jobs will be executed? Matrix job. What the include color Okay, let's understand this a little bit more by going onto the docs. I need to make sure it's readable. Is this still a link? Okay, let's zoom in. It's readable. Let's learn together. Okay, so 10, 12, 14, that will do 3. Okay, but this is 6. Yes. But then the difference here is that they specified include, which has color and pet. But does this do another iteration with white and dog? So it will do cat, pink, pink, dog, brown, and then it will do dog, white as well. Let's see. What does with do? Hold on. This was not with, it was include. Include expands existing matrix configurations. Okay. Let's copy that. That would add one more. So 5. Using include adds one more. Using include adds one more. Don't forget. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, on to the next. Learning. I'm gonna do one more. It's gonna be so late. It's gonna be like 1 a.m. I'm crying. Too much studying. I'm drawing. Okay. Which configuration is appropriate? Okay. Workflow to run on a webhook. Okay. Work. Okay. This one seems the best. Looks like the one. Okay. Taking quite okay. Which configuration? And it says this one. So it should be re-requested and completed. Why? Let's find out. So, what is the question? Triggering a workflow to run on webhook events related to check run requires this one. So I'm going to add that. So can you do markdown in Google? That's a question. Let's see. Type it. I don't think you can. Insert code. I don't know. I don't think so. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. Should use the following trigger, but then this is going to go into a new list. Let's put this on a new page. Go back. It's kind of annoying, isn't it? But sure. Okay, that works. Okay, better. Continuing on, let's learn why that is the case. So requested uncompleted. Okay. Webhook event payload is check run. Okay, which does last commit on default branch. So what does created and requested? What does this mean? So you can run a workflow when a check run has been requested or completed. Has been re-requested or completed. Okay. Is there further talk about what? When would you? I'm tired. Oh. When would you use created then? I don't know. not created, sorry. When would you use completed? What does it say? Re-requested or completed. This one here says you can use it when it's re-requested or completed. I don't understand. This might just have to be, oh, okay. More than one activity type triggers this event for information, although only the complete activity type is supported. Completed or re-requested? It's not applicable. I don't really understand. And delete. Was this like on the question? No, the closed. Is closed even valid? No, so okay. I'm just gonna remember that. Re-requested and completed. But I don't understand why. This is bad studying. But sometimes when time is dire, you have to do bad studying. How can you use the future employees then watch please? How can you use the GitHub API to create or update a repository secret? Update a repository secret. I got that one wrong. This one here, question number 70. Put, it's a put, not a post. Okay. You do the following to update a repository secret. You do the following with the API to update a repository secret. Well, you make the following call with the API to update a repository secret. Okay. I'm tired. But we will continue. Let's have some water. So it's 22. I've got 23 and then 22. ChatGPT would say the next one would be 21. Gemini would say 29. Okay. Let us go and look at... Oh, we've looked through all the questions. I was unsure on some of these, like default timeout is 360 minutes. Default shell, oh, I think I put PowerShell. Let's have a look. Default shell. Windows runners. What was the answer? The answer was PowerShell. Okay. See, my brain worked for one time. Default shell on Windows runners is PowerShell. This is Actions, by the way, so just remember that on Windows it may not be the case. What else is the questions that I was unsure of? When will job 3 run? I got it right. I said no matter what, I think, but let me just say when will job 3 run? When will job 3 run? It runs on one I said, regardless of whether they're successful. I was pretty confident in that one. Correct way to print a debug message. Oh, which variable did you set to true? Oh, I didn't get that one either. Okay. Which variable would you set to true? Okay, what is it? You set action step debug to enable step debug logging. Okay. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3. set this to true to enable step debug logging. Okay. How many jobs? That was 5. Which configurations? Yes, completed and view requested. True is step debug logging. How many jobs? We did that one. 5. Yes. Got that one right. That's nice. A little bit of a paradox. In GitHub Actions, you define, yes, we got that one. Push event triggers, you can use glob, I think it was. You can upload a single file, which is not true. I want to double check that one. You can only upload a single file at a time. Okay. You can only upload a single file at a time. Let's have a look. False. You can upload more than one file at a time. You can upload more than one file at a time using the, I don't want to type it in, actions action. Yeah, okay, that's good. Next one, what else did I miss upon? Yeah, okay, what else am I confused on? Is this statement true? No, I got that one. Correct way to print a debug message. Oh, here, okay, yes, let's look at that one. Correct way to print a debug message. Okay, here. So you gotta use it like this. You gotta have 2 colons, not 1. Okay. Let me copy that. The correct way to debug to print a debug message is like that. So 2 colons of debug in the middle, and you're doing echo. What else did I stuck on? Yeah, we've got that one. Default branch. Got that one. Which of the following statements are true? Okay, which are the true about adding a self-hosted runner? This one. Okay, I was not sure. This one here. Yeah, so you can't add, so it's saying you can add a self-hosted runner to a repository, organization, or to an enterprise. Can't add it to a workflow step. That makes sense. Gotcha. I'm gonna fall asleep. I won't fall asleep. And the next one I'm gonna get 24, and I'm only gonna get 24 because I just saw some answers. So in the first one it was not very useful, but it definitely was like a mental exercise, at least remembering things. I don't know if what I remembered was correct, but I remember things. This one I got 22, so I got worse. We're gonna retake it. Let's go here to the pen icon. That's not how you do it. Let's go just click on practice test. 30 more. So I've done, if the GitHub Actions exam is 65 questions, I've done like an exam and a half, and like, I don't know how long I've been doing this for. I'm just gonna stop the video to check quickly. I'm doing one more exam. One, because that's what David Goggins would do. And 2, because 70, I don't know, what was 22 over 30 again? What it was too low, so 73%, but I'm really tired. It's like 4 minutes past 1 in the morning, so what I'm gonna do is, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do an exam with only 20 questions, and hope I get right. But I did just rewatch some of the footage actually, and I saw there was one question regarding OIDC which I was curious about. The one Vault at the start of the video. Bro, OIDC is better. Oh, and you can use OIDC actually with not with a bot user, with a, I don't know, GitHub app. You can do that with a GitHub app, but I'm lazy, so I prefer bot token or GitHub app. Okay, OIDC's answers there. Okay. Anyway, let's keep this here. Don't forget to subscribe. This is like a good part of revision. I don't want this volume on, so I'm gonna turn this down. Do you think I've got another subscriber? Damn, but the views are good, no? And look, these videos are so entertaining. You should watch them. It's an essential part of revision. Look at the tiredness progress. Most popular cloud platform. I think I've got another one to go on YouTube actually if I refresh. Shorts. Top 5 web frameworks. There should be a fourth one. I don't know what happened to that, so that'll be fun. Anyway, okay, so let's go here and I don't know if I started one, so okay, if we go back to practice tests and change this to 20. Okay, so last one time let's do maths. So I'm using the calc. If you know what calc stands for calculator. We want to get 20 divided by 100 equals times 70. We want to get more than, it gives us 4 question margin error. So I can get 4 questions wrong. If I do that, then I can go to sleep and you can stop watching this video and we'll both pass the exam. I've messed up my hair, hold on. It doesn't matter, it's fine. Okay. I don't remember which one had, okay, here, let's close these because that was confusing me. I'll link these in the description when I release the video. So, okay, 20 questions, let's go. When should you use artifacts? Oh, we're getting too many similar questions, but this is good. I can use my cache, and this is artifacts, sorry. You can do that, that's true. You can use it for subsequent job. You can use artifacts to save binaries produced by build jobs. You could use that, yeah. I think these two are good. This is for caching, so no. And this one, this is a tag, not an artifact. Okay. What GitHub? We know the answer to this one. I'll go back, guys. It's Ubuntu Linux, Windows, and Mac OS. Dave wants to be notified when a comment is created on an issue within a GitHub repository. The answer here is issue_comment. I'm fairly certain. What's the self-hosted runner? It's this one. So it's not to manage pull requests. It's not to upload code to a private server. It's a self-hosted runner. Well, a self-hosted runner is a system that you deploy and manage to execute jobs from GitHub Actions on github.com. Bang. Ciao. What is true about workflows? Workflows, that's not true. They can be run on different things like triggers. Workflows, no actions can be shared on Marketplace. I don't think workflows can. That's not true. If it doesn't have needs, I don't think you can write a workflow in TOML. Workflows can run one or multiple jobs at a time. Yes, workflows have to be defined there, unless it's a reusable one, template one, sorry. What, triggered manually by event? Yeah, 3. Ooh, confident. How can you validate that your GitHub self-hosted runner can access all required GitHub services? What? probably this one, right? You'd assume so, but I actually don't know the answer, so I'm going to be good. I'm going to copy this. Let's get rid of this since we've answered these to ourselves. Let's do plan B. I don't know the answer to this one, so we can learn this one together. No mouse died? Sorry, there's a bit of a delay. I'm just going to double check. Okay, I have no clue what happened. I did some Googling and I couldn't actually... I think I just turned it on and off, to be honest, so yeah. Anyway, I wasted, I don't know, was it probably like 20 minutes just trying to fix this issue. Not really a good use of my time. So anyway, let's crack on. So I want to go to bed before 2, so... Okay, I think this is the answer, but I wasn't sure, so did I copy this here? Yeah, okay, was not sure, so I've done that one. What are the scopes defined for custom variables in a workflow? Env, steps, job. I think here, oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. You got enough of looking at my pretty face, but yes. The last question I answered was this one. Well, I didn't answer it, but I did, but put as a note because I wasn't sure if it was right. And we've got these ones too. Okay. So what are the scopes is defined for custom variables in a workflow? Am I lagging again? That's my question. Bam, bam, bam. No, I don't think so. Okay. Okay. What is the correct syntax for specifying a cleanup script? This was right. I don't know. So I'm going to put this in the note because we got this in the first quiz, but I didn't actually check it properly. So let's keep that there. Like I said, I'm a poster with the Docker logo on the YouTube channel. You want to create a reusable workflow that runs on quality checks, linting. What event to trigger the workflow? Workflow call is the answer. What is the default shell used by Windows? PowerShell. It's looking good. We got some of these before. Scheduled workflows run on the default branch on the latest commit. Which configuration is appropriate for triggering a workflow to run on a webhook event? Wow, re-requested and completed. It's almost like I'm doing the same exam again. In a workflow with multiple jobs, the default behavior is the jobs will run in parallel unless there's needs. Less of the dependency, there's no need for them to run sequentially, so parallel. Which context hold information? It's got to be event. Got to be event, I think. What does the needs keyword do? It creates dependencies. We know this. Doesn't trigger a job, that's on. Defines environmental variables. That's either repository, I think, like repository variables, or you can set environment variables using echo. It's getting so late, I'm so tired, like this is a bit silly. Okay, specifies dependencies. How can you override an organization level GitHub secret API key with a different one? Oh, really? So you need to overwrite it using API key, and it needs to be environment or repository. We did this question before. Which event is triggered? A webhook, you can do workflow dispatch, but that workflow dispatch triggers it from an API, but maybe the webhook is doing that. Or repository dispatch. I've got a feeling it's this, but I'm not sure. So let's put this like that. Okay, what level of permission is required to rerun the workflows? Right. You don't need to be admin, owner, or read. Right, sounds alright. How can you cache dependencies to speed up by using the cache action? Okay, I'm excited because if I get this one right, let me just, I can't be lagging. Like you have to see the studying is serious. Okay, but if I get more than 16, then that's good. I can go to bed. Which of the following can be used to limit the number of concurrent jobs? Concurrency. Surely, I think. What did I get? Let's go full screen. 17 out of 20. So we got one more than what we thought. Look at it from a percentage perspective. That is 85, which is 15% more. And if we look, how can we validate your... But also, like, I did just answer some of these questions. Sorry, 17 out of 20, so you guys can see. How can you validate that it has access to services? Okay, what is true about WordPress? So I think that this one here can access all required GitHub services. Okay, yeah. Using a GitHub provider. Okay, let's make that note. You validate network connectivity on GitHub self-hosted runner. You can use a GitHub provided script. Nice. I would have thought that, but it is what it is. Okay. What are the scopes defined for custom variables and workflow? Okay. Custom variables and workflow. Okay, what are they? Oh, sorry for banging the table. Okay, I'm just gonna copy this. Okay, yeah. The entire workflow by using env at the top level of the workflow file. Okay, that's one of them. The next one is the contents of the job. Jobs ID env. Okay, so you've got env jobs and job ID.step. Okay, so it's never jobs.env, it's jobs.jobid.env. To be fair, jobs.env wouldn't make sense because that would just be env because you haven't specified a job. Makes sense. Okay, I'm not complaining about that answer. Sounds... I don't know what I keep doing. Is the shift back? Okay, it was just broken. So I got 3 wrong here. What is... Okay, and this is one I said I didn't know. Cleanup script and a container action. Okay. Oh, copy it. And the answer should have been this one. This isn't what I put. I think I put the second one. So what did they do? Post entry point is the answer. Oh, they must be randomizing the order. So I think I clicked the first one, which I think was this one on my case. So the answer is this, post entry point. Runs using Docker. What does post entry point mean? Post entry point. Is it like they just put a link to something? Yeah, okay. Copy. Let's just have a read so we understand. Be good student, even though it's 139. Runs post entry point allows you to run a cleanup script once a runs entry point action has been completed. That makes sense. And now this answer makes sense. I'm a happy boy. Let's copy it. So what is the correct syntax for copy this? I'm not distributing this. I'm not stealing. This is for me notes. What I got wrong, just in case there was concern. Okay, and that's good. So I finished on 17 out of 20, which is 85%. And now I think I'm ready to take the exam. Let me do this. Okay, I'm a happy boy. I've finished studying and I can go to bed now. I'll actually probably prepare the room for the exam. And yeah, good night. Thank you for studying with me. If you found it useful, subscribe and I'll study more. Bye bye.